The corporate watchdog has announced it's suing global banking giant HSBC, alleging it failed to protect its Australian customers from a long-running phone spoofing scam. The Australian Securities and Investments Commission claims the bank has breached a number of codes, including its financial services licence, and the failings were widespread. Alison Brownlee from the Specialist Reporting Team has been following the story.
For those who aren't aware what spoofing is, essentially it's kind of pretending that you're coming from a legitimate number. So basically what would happen is these scammers would start calling from a different number, but on your phone it looked like it was coming from the bank. Or on your text message thread or your other text from the bank, it would look like a legitimate text from the bank. Then it would have some kind of alert to kind of panic customers and a phone number to ring. So panic customers thinking their bank had been compromised would ring the number. And this scam was so elaborate that when they rang that number, they even got HSB on hold waiting sounds and would talk to a very professional person and then hand over sensitive details, allowing the scammers to access their bank accounts.
So, I mean, how widespread was it? Do we know how many customers were affected by it and how much money was lost here?
Well, the announcement today of this action has actually shown it was far more widespread than initially thought. So some 950 reports of Australian customers being affected and scammers netting up to $23 million. That ran over 4 years starting in 2020 with claims peaking late last year from about October to March this year.
So what action are regulators taking to get money back?
So what HSBC have announced today is that, ASIC have announced today is that they will be taking HSBC to the federal court, claiming they've breached a number of banking codes. It's a landmark action, the first of its kind in Australia, which will certainly put other banks on notice that they have to do more to protect their customers. Earlier this year, AFCA, the Financial Complaints Authority, had a separate finding that in 360 cases they had to pay customers back and pay them compensation. Central to the claim is not just that the scam happened, but rather that it took HSBC too long to investigate complaints, an average of 145 days, and then giving customers access back to their funds once the matter was resolved. It was an average of 95 days, but one customer waited more than 500 days.
What has HSBC had to say about this?
Well, HSBC says it's made a series of reforms and it has done what AFCA asked and paid back and compensated customers where it was required to do so. It's also added its number to what's called the Do Not Originate list. Now, we'd all be familiar with the Do Not Call list. There's also one that telecommunication companies have called it a Do Not Originate list. And essentially it means where something is normally an inbound number, like calling your bank, it's blocked. So someone can't do an outbound call from that number and essentially spoof or pretend to be that banker.
Now, how many customers have been able to recoup their money following this?
So we know there were 360 of those 900-odd reports who went through AFCA, the Financial Complaints Authority, and that was a really key determination in August this year. And there's only 17 matters out of those 360 still outstanding. What became of those other 600 customers, we're not sure, but that may all come out in the wash of this court action.
Alison Brownlee from the ABC Specialist Reporting Team, thank you.